Hello, this is Angelo.
Hello, I'm Alexandra.
And we are here with another review of Own Your Future Challenge. In fact, the full review since Own Your Future Challenge is over, and to give you some insights about Launchpad, the new program of Tony Robbins and Dean Graziosi, and of course, some amazing bonuses just for being here with us today. So, first of all, Own Your Future Challenge is over. What does that mean? I mean, maybe you've been conditioned in the past few days with us to be primed for the next day of Own Your Future Challenge. And now Own Your Future Challenge is
It's
over.
August
So
6th.
your mind might be going, like, what's next then? What's now? And the answer is the biggest challenge of all. Because now what you have in front of you is the challenge of building momentum and capitalizing on the energy that you've built with Own Your Future
Exactly,
Challenge.
the big energy, right?
And at some point, I know it happens to me like with almost every seminar that we're going. I remember myself, especially my first seminar when I went for UPW in New York back in 2009.
Yes.
And I remember I really felt that Tony Robbins, and it was about 1,200 of us, so 1/10 of what UPWs are right now. And it felt like nobody wanted to leave. Nobody wanted for this event to end. And I know that yesterday, after, like watching Dean and Trent Shelton, wasn't he amazing?
Amazing.
And Tony Robbins again, with a powerful closing statement. You felt, and maybe if you were with us at VIP as well, with all these amazing conversations, you felt, I don't want this to end. But you know what? No matter how amazing, how inspiring these seminars, these events are, because they are basically seminars, it just happens for us that we are so fortunate in this day and age that they are digital, but they are seminars,
Yes.
right? So you want them to end for your journey to your super self to begin. How about that? I know the energy is amazing. I know you feel great by being surrounded by Tony Robbins, Dean Graziosi, Trent Shelton, Jay Shetty. Of course you feel great. But you know what feels much better? Feeling every single day, as we like to call it, happy and unstoppable, and feeling that you're on track towards seeing your super self in the mirror and your super life before your very eyes.
Exactly.
So, as Trent Shelton said yesterday,
he said, just being inspired does not create the change.
Exactly.
So very true, right?
So important to remember that we are not, I also remember John Ashraf talking about his mentor,
Yes.
who asked him, and he said, this question alone changed my life. And his mentor's question was, John, are you interested or are you committed?
It's
Because
a whole
this
different game.
makes all the difference in the world. Are you interested or are you committed? And in a sense, I feel that you are committed because it is Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
Regardless of what time it is,
Yes.
For us here, it's 8 p.m. Okay, in the evening. We are in Greece. You could be anywhere in the world. I know there are people from over 100 countries that have signed up for the event. And by being here, for me, I get a feeling that you are committed, not to me, not to Alexandra, not to this webinar. You are committed to your super self.
Exactly. To your
You
vision.
have made this mental contract with your super self. You said yes to making the changes and taking the steps towards your super self, regardless of which way you will go about it, because there are many ways to go about it. And for me, it felt like this because it took me about 10 years to make a realization that I could have made in 10 days or 10 seconds with the right information. And this is why events like Own Your Future Challenge are so empowering, because you get these insights and you get this understanding that there is another way. There is an easier way. So, as we said, and as Jim Rohn used to say, 31st of December, right? You will arrive. The question is, where?
Exactly.
So, as we promised to you,
I love
because
this, yes.
we have been, like, from mid-July, we have been inviting you to attend Own Your Future Challenge, and we were, telling you like different things, like it is a good idea to be there, and so on and so forth, right? But at the same time, many of you made the decision, like to be like all in on all 5 days, to watch some days or no days at all, or not even sign up, right? But you happen to be here watching this webinar right now. So let me ask you this. If you watched like at least 1 hour of the event or like 30 minutes of the event, did you get a feel of a higher energy and some insights like, oh, this person seems to know what they're talking about. Wow, they vibrate success back to me. And if you haven't watched at all on your future challenge, how different is your life and the trajectory of your business or your financial success from August 1st that Own Your Future Challenge began?
Right.
Because what is
Very good
happening in
question.
our lives, is that we live in all these parallel lives. And basically, we feel that our life is like a linear flow. But if you look very carefully and if you like zoom into your life, you will see that your life is a series of micro commitments, turning left or right, choosing yes,
Choices.
saying yes or
Yes.
no, up or down, all the time.
Exactly.
What to eat, when to sleep, who to talk to, right? Which webinar to watch from like the gazillion webinars that are out there. You're making micro decisions and micro commitments all the time. And if you make the right ones and start connecting the dots, you will create the path towards your super self and your super life. This is the game-changing attitude. So, let us describe life after Own Your Future Challenge, because we are not here to review Own Your Future Challenge as an event. We are here to review Own Your Future Challenge as an event in our minds and our hearts.
Exactly.
What was the impact of Own Your Future Challenge for future Angelo, for future Alexandra, for future you?
And some secrets to sustain this energy.
Exactly,
right?
exactly. So we will use the 3-step process that Tony Robbins shared with us on day 1. So number 1, we have to focus on our state. And as you know, our favorite state is what we call happy and unstoppable. So we use the exercises of perspective, forgiveness, love, gratitude, and happy landing to uplift ourselves to the point of what we call unconditional happiness. And when you reach the emotional state of happiness, the corresponding mental state is the state of flow. So the better you feel, the better you act, and the better you act, the better results you get.
Exactly.
And it is how we like to call it, making happiness, rather than trying desperately to make happiness the fruit of your success, the end result. You make happiness the root of your success, the beginning of your success. So this is the game-changing state. And regardless if you invest in Launchpad or not, we will be helping you immensely on that matter, because for us, it is our number one thing. It is our passion. It is our mission.
Yes.
It is all that we care about, basically, because we know if you don't take care of your emotional state and if you don't put yourself at happiness, it doesn't really matter what happens next. And I really, hopefully, we realized soon enough that going after success by being, like stressed and say at the end of the year, whoa, I made $1 million and I'm so stressed right now. And, like I have a stomach ache, from the stress and so on. It's not sustainable. It's not worth it. Your happiness goes first, and you take that as a powerhouse, as a power vehicle to take you where you want to go.
Exactly.
This is what you should be focusing on. And of course, if you decide to work with us at Launchpad, we will be taking, like some very powerful master classes to help you with that. Number 2, focus on a better story. And
Yes,
here
this is one of my
is
favorites.
our secret number one for today. We promise some mindset and marketing secrets. This is actually a bit of both. So we learned this from one of our dearest
Yes.
mentors and people on the whole world, Joel Roberts. And this is called the deep
The deep technique.
technique. The deep
Very
technique.
powerful. Listen
So
closely.
this is a technique for communication, but it helps immensely to use it also to communicate to yourself a better story. So maybe your story right now, and I'm just guessing, hopefully I am wrong, right? So maybe your story right now is that I'm not good enough. I'm not worth it. I cannot do what Dean says. This is too much for me. I'm too old. I'm too young. I'm whatever, right? So this story is what? Is it an empowering or a disempowering story?
Yeah, definitely
It is
disempowering.
a disempowering story. So instead of trying, like to hide your past or let go of your past or trying, like to completely disengage from your past, which is also something that is not sustainable, you want to use your past as a powerful message for your future. So what the deep technique says is, hi, I am Angelo. Now I am a very happy and very successful entrepreneur making so much money every year by doing this, that, and the other. But it wasn't always this way.
Deep
At
technique.
some point, this is the deep technique.
Right?
At some point, I was a complete failure. I was discouraged. I was frustrated. I was angry with myself. And now you're using your past as a power vehicle to communicate to yourself that even though this was true, so you're not lying to yourself, even though this was true in the past, now it's a completely different story. So what is happening with the deep technique? As I said before, this is a marketing communication technique, but we are using it here for you to sell to yourself, your super self right now, your future self, and also to communicate to your
Exactly.
clients
Your story. Your message.
a more empowering story. So you just take your old story, throw it away, and install a new story, a story that couples your past, which maybe is not to your liking anymore, but at the same time is part of your life.
And it couples your past, your mess, like Dean said, with
Exactly.
your solution. Okay? So
And-
now people can resonate with you, people who have the same problem,
Yeah.
and they understand that you have been through that path and now you are more credible and trustworthy.
Exactly.
for them.
And if you remember from a previous challenge, Jenna Kutcher said that, and it stuck with me because I thought, is it really this way? Does it work this way? And it does. People want to see your mess. People want to
Yes.
see you rising
Yes.
up from
Yes.
your ashes. If
It
this
is
is
inspiring.
if this
and it
is
breaks the ice.
exactly, exactly,
Authenticity.
because most people are not like thriving, successful, and so on. So if they see you in a less empowering state, but growing all the time, they get inspired to do so as well.
Exactly.
They get inspired by your story, and they get empowered by your story. Number 3, strategy. And if we had like 7 days in a row, 24/7, and we managed to have your attention for all that time, it still wouldn't be enough to share enough strategies to cover the desires and the demands of all of you. So I thought of using another story. And that story is something that Bob Proctor said actually in a seminar. And he said, you know what, when I got started, one of the things that I did, fortunately for me, was to take, I think it was a gift from his brother or
I
something,
think so, yes.
to start reading Think and Grow Rich. And he was very inspired by it. And he was going through the chapters and everything was going great, like chapter 1, desire and so on. And it was going great up until he reached the chapter of specialized knowledge. And he started reading that for you to succeed, you need
Yes.
specialized knowledge.
In some area, right?
And Bob Proctor said, oh, that's it then. I am done. I am cooked. It's
I
over
don't
for
have
me.
specialized
I
knowledge.
don't have any specialized knowledge. I am a nobody from nowhere. I am a useless person. I am one of the few people who managed to got kicked out of the Navy or what something
Yes,
like
he
that.
was still at a very young age.
Okay, he was feeling so bad with himself. He was losing, like, desperately looking for something, to grasp and turn his life around. And then he reads this and he collapses. But he kept on reading, and he realized that he didn't need to have the specialized knowledge. Someone else could have that specialized knowledge. So,
Exactly.
for instance,
You can start from there.
from
Yes.
Own Your Future Challenge, let's take a small example of it, right? Now you have all the knowledge in the world to share about your message, but you have no idea how to convey that through a YouTube short or an Instagram reel. Maybe your partner, your employee, your cousin, your nephew could know how to do this thing for you, and even for free, for you to get started, just for the fun of it. So you don't need to know everything, but you need to have what it takes. For instance, I flew about a month and a half ago. I flew to Scottsdale, Arizona for my amazing mastermind with Dean Graziosi.
Yes.
And I had a blast. We had an amazing conversation with all the other amazing entrepreneurs and marketers. Did I have to build an airplane? No. I just
Good
had
example.
to hop on the airplane, right? And
Yes.
it worked. I landed at Scottsdale and I came back. I don't want to tell the story about coming back because it is like a 40-hour journey, the longest journey I've had. But at the same time, it worked. And all you need to remember is that you don't need to know everything, but there is a certain amount of knowledge that needs to take you where you want to go.
Yes.
You do need. So this is where you differentiate yourself. This is where you differentiate yourself from a delusional, empowering, motivational state to a truly focused human being that is upgrading your mindset, your skill set, and your tool set, regardless of if it is you or somebody else in your team that does it. This is the
Exactly.
game changer.
And as Dean Graziosi said, in order to remove the overwhelm, you just have to be one chapter ahead of your client, right? In something, in the solution that you want to offer. Life is dynamic, as we said, and as you progress, you will find more information on the way.
Exactly.
Right?
So now we will try to do the impossible. We will try to condense all 5 days of On Your Future Challenge in 5 minutes. So we know how important attention is for us to really have your attention. And by saying having your attention, and this is like a keeper for you when you're doing your webinars, right? It does not mean that somebody has their YouTube on as you do right now. Is to truly be inspiring and empowering enough to have truly your attention there and not have you thinking of your bills or whatever. So now we will try to put all 5 days into 5 sentences. Maybe you've done the process with us in the previous days, and at the same time we will be imprinting these 5 insights, because for us they are the most powerful ones to get going. And as you get going, the memories of Own Your Future Challenge will tend to disappear from your consciousness, but the feelings will remain there. The empowerment and what the feeling you got of what you're capable of, and how much everyone believes in you, and how much more you believe in yourself right now, this will stay forever.
This is, for me, the most priceless takeaway from Own Your Future Challenge. So let's go. Day 1.
Day 1 was about what? About mindset, about self-confidence. So what did we say about day 1? Your mind is so powerful that it can make or break your dreams, depending on what? Depending on where you focus on. So day 2 was about clarity. And we said, you know what? Let's focus on our aim. Let's focus on your aim, your authentic impact mission.
Exactly.
And this is basically the bullseye, what Dean Graziosi called bullseye. And of course, we will be helping you immensely with another bonus at Launchpad to find the right bullseye for you and be able to focus on that with some amazing exercises. Day number 3 was about turning sales into service, or a storytelling journey that actually takes your client, your potential client, from where they are right now to their ideal state, which is having their problem solved
Exactly.
with your solution.
Exactly.
So what that means is that, and that is the sentence for day 3, that everything is on the other side of yes.
I
If you
love
don't
that.
say yes to something, nothing changes. So always, every new relationship and every new achievement starts with a yes. You said yes to come to this webinar. You are saying yes right now by still being on this webinar. Day number 4, it was about how we use stories and social media
Yes.
to communicate to our ideal audience. And especially in the beginning, it could be really frustrating. I mean, imagine yourself trying to juggle like 5 or 10 different platforms, knowing nothing about each one of them. It's frustrating. So our message, our power sentence for day 4 is: it is easier than you think when you focus on one thing at a time. It is easier than you think, but not in general. When you focus at one thing at a time,
Exactly.
take the platform
Step by step.
that you resonate the most with, the one that inspires you to use and grow. And this does not mean that you cannot post on other platforms, but don't worry about them yet. Make this your point of power, your point of communication.
Exactly. Exactly.
Day number 5 was all about putting everything together and achieving what we like to call escape velocity. So it is like the point of no return. Now you have achieved escape velocity from who? From your old self, from your limiting
Precisely.
beliefs and from your limiting habits. This is who you are achieving escape velocity from. So imagine that there is a humongous momentum from your old self, and you want to break that pattern. So the message, the power message from day 5 is the words from Trent Shelton: I am the change. Stop thinking that if the world changes at some point in the future, this could mean a better life or a better business for you, because it won't. Every change that happens globally, it means it happens for everyone. And at the same time, how much longer are you willing to wait before you see your super self in the mirror and your super life before your very eyes? How much longer are you willing to wait? Because life will not wait for you. And here, to cap it off, I have a story for you to memorize this. And back when I was a student at the university in Manchester, me and some friends of mine, we were hooked with a game, a PC game. And that PC game was called Transport Tycoon. And basically what you were doing with this game is that you were building, like railroads and airports. And basically you were a tycoon having all sorts of transportation businesses. And that game had a button. This is how I name that story. This game had a button that ruined my life. Wow. And that button, what was that button? It was on the top left corner, a pause button. So basically what we were doing, every time that we were struggling or we didn't know exactly what to do or what our best move would be, we would pause the game.
Hit the pause button.
Think about it, go for a walk, play some basketball, and have lunch, and discuss about it. And then we would unpause and enjoy our profits. Is this how life works? Is there a pause
Definitely
button
no.
that I
There
don't
is
know?
no.
So life is passing by. Keep that sentence. I know it's a bit, out there, and I remind you, I am an engineer, so I have this square part of my mind as well happening at the same time. But life is passing by relentlessly at a rate of 1 second per second, and there's nothing you can do about it. Or you can have like in brackets yet, but there's nothing you can do about it right now. And if you can, I want your number. Okay. So, and there's nothing you can do about it. So you better make better decisions, and you better make them faster. And you better support your decisions. And you better believe in yourself more. And you better do it faster, because life will not wait for you.
Exactly.
And this was the message of day 5. I get goosebumps every time I think about it, because
I
I
agree.
think about
Yes.
of all the times that I have procrastinated, all the times that I thought I was lacking something, and it was all in my mind, and I could have started much sooner, and I could have done much better if I didn't listen to all these naysayers, not from all around the world, but
In my mind.
in my world,
Yes.
in my inner world. Don't do the same mistake. Don't be as regretful as I am right now about some things in the past 10 years from now or a year from now. Do whatever it takes today to let go of all these limitations. Do it now. Regardless, investing in Launchpad is not just an investment. It's not just a purchase. You don't buy a program. You just buy the outfit of your super self.
Yes.
This is the game-changing attitude when you make such an investment to any program. Maybe you don't resonate with that program, or you don't resonate with Tony and Dean. I know that no program is fitting for everyone. But you know what? If you're here still, it means that you have a tendency
There is a nudge.
towards,
Yes.
you have a tendency, right, towards conveying a message that you have within. You have this burning desire to share. Otherwise, you would say, like what Angelo and Alexandra are talking right now, it's meaningless to me. I have no interest in what they're saying, right? So if you're still here, take this message that your super self is sending you right now. So what about some more secrets? And we had in our mind that we will share 5 secrets, like one per day. One secret for each module, let's say, because every day was like one module, right? But you know what? The day 1 was about mindset. It was about your self-confidence. It was about your self-worth. And you know how much passionate I am with that. But so we decided to share 5 secrets only for day 1, and then another one for each of the other days, if that is okay with you.
And also because mindset is the foundation of everything, right?
For sure.
It's worthwhile putting some more time at this point exactly. So we will give you some secrets and tools.
I don't know if I have the authority to correct, let's say, Tony Robbins, but Tony Robbins is saying 80% is mindset, 20% is mechanics or strategy.
Exactly, yes.
I like to say it is the first 80%. Focus on that first. Fix that first. And this is why you want to fix your state first. Because if your mind is not right, nothing else will work. Okay, you will be basically self-sabotaging yourself to have like a lower performance. So number 1, day number 1 was about mindset. So we have 5 amazing, let's say, mindset hacks for you. Number 1, you know how passionate we are about the happy landing technique. We did it like all the previous priming sessions. And let me remind you briefly, if you're new to that and you don't remember what exactly it is. It is a short, powerful meditation where you close your eyes and you see, and most importantly, feel yourself at your destination, having already achieved. So if, for example, your goal is $1 million, you don't think of $1 million, you think yourself with $1 million.
Exactly.
You are at your destination. Okay. So, for example, if this is the revenue, your goal for your revenue goal for your digital product, you actually see the screen with $1 million sales. But for some people, their level of visualization and imagination is not that advanced, and they say, you know what, Angelo, I am struggling with that. So we came up with a solution not too long ago. This is like a few months old. This new exercise, this new hack is a few months old. And we are always reinventing ourselves. We are always upgrading our techniques to make it easier, faster, and more fun for you. So we have what we call sleepy landing. So what you do basically, as you drift off to sleep, instead of trying to create an image that it is hard for you, like for a future event, that it is hard for you to imagine, what you're doing is that you imagine yourself drifting off sleep, like sometime in the future that you have achieved your goal. So, for example, let's just say that you have made your first million with your digital product, and you go to bed, and you lay in bed, and you close your eyes, and you have this amazing smile, right?
Exactly.
Wow, what
I
a
did
day!
it.
I
Yes.
crossed the 7-figure mark with my digital product. Isn't this amazing? Wow. Dean was saying that I could, and I was like trying to convince myself that I couldn't. And you know what? Now I did
I
it.
did it.
So what you are basically doing is like a hybrid of the happy landing exercise, which is much easier for you to do. Number 2, we have like an open eye happy landing body. So again, it could be difficult for you to imagine yourself in that state in the future. What are you doing now then? You go to mastermind.com Facebook group if you have invested in Launchpad and you got access to it. Or if you haven't, you go to the Own Your Future Challenge free private group, which is more than 600,000 people.
Right, exactly.
And you look for a story that is close to what you want to achieve. And you resonate with that story. You resonate with that success. You resonate with how someone describes their success, which is very similar to what you want to achieve.
Exactly. And you say to yourself, if they can do it, I can do it.
Not
right?
only that, but you get a feel of the feeling basically,
Exactly.
because this is all you need. You want to accustom yourself with that feeling. Tony Robbins says, like, feel great right now. How can I feel great? You want to practice that. You practice empowerment. It's a practice. It is exactly.
It is like a muscle. It is
Exactly.
like a muscle, right? You need to practice the emotional state of your goal achieved.
It is
And the
exactly.
more you do it, the easier it becomes.
That's right. It is exactly like that. Whatever physical equivalent you think, you're right. It is exactly like that. It's like building a muscle. It's like listening to a certain frequency on the radio or a certain song, exactly like that. So the more you hear a specific song, the more you resonate with that song, no matter if you like it or not. The same goes with our thoughts and our actions. So no matter if we like an action, or no matter if it is an empowering one or disempowering one, all we have to do is to replicate it. And this is why I say many times, this is like a bonus within a bonus right now. At the end of each day, you are definitely better. So if you are smoking, right, and you want to quit, and you lighted like 10 cigarettes a day, you have become a better smoker. We all sleep better than how we woke up.
Yes.
Did you sleep better at something that gets you closer to your super self and your super life? That's the question. Next, self-whisper. And this is from another amazing human being, a partner of Tony Robbins, basically someone who is in most, if not all, UPWs. It's Joseph McClendon.
Yes.
And he said that regardless of what you think right now, the person who has most authority on you, it's definitely not Alexandra. It's not Angelo. It's not even Tony Robbins. It's not Dean Graziosi. The person is not like a loved one. The person who has the most influence in you and your consciousness and your emotions is you. So what Joseph McClendon is saying is talk to yourself more and say better things.
Exactly.
And make it visually accessible. I mean, to actually demonstrate that you mean it. So what is the self-whisper? Do this and speak to your ear. Do this right now. Do this exercise. You do that.
Okay.
Speak and see that you can actually hear more
Yes.
your words
Exactly.
right now.
It's like an echo.
It's like an echo.
Like a speaker to yourself.
So you're
yes.
saying, like, Angelo, you're awesome. Angelo, you're amazing. Angelo,
Exactly.
I believe in you. Angelo, it won't be too long before you have that level of success with your digital product.
Try it. It
Try
works.
it. Say that to yourself many times, and that especially when you feel like disempowered or disengaged from the pool of your why and your super self and your vision. Use this. And last but not least, because as Tony Robbins says, we sometimes feel so like depressed and depleted and everything that we need to use our body to restart our
Exactly.
energy, right? So the last mindset hack is the affirmation power walk. So let's just say that your project, your launch is called On Your Future, and your goal is 50 sales, right? So you go out for a walk and you use the same tempo in your affirmation with your feet. So it goes like 50 sales at Own Your Future, 50 sales at Own Your Future, 50 sales at Own Your Future. And you walk at your own pace, but you match the pace of your affirmations with the pace of your walk, and that has an empowering effect, and that sticks to your consciousness much better, much faster.
It is an imprinting method, actually. Like
Exactly.
This rhythm, this repetition creates an imprinting in every cell of your body the more you do it.
Exactly. So day number 2 was all about choosing the right dot, as Dean used to say it, the right bullseye, or your aim, as we like to call it, your authentic impact mission, right? So how do you go about it? Because some of you could be, like passionate like I am, and you might have like, oh, I can do this, I can.
Multi-passionate.
This was very
like
inspiring, and
yes.
I can do so many things. You know what? There is a way to sort it out, and I could have had like a more sophisticated name for this technique, but I call it the ice cream technique.
I kind of like ice cream technique.
Just because I love ice cream so much. And the way to visualize this technique is right now. Imagine that you are one of like your favorite Greek island, and you're walking in the summer, but it's a very hot day, and you think to yourself, you know what? I desperately need an ice cream right now. If only there was like an ice cream parlor right now in front of my eyes. And of course, there is one. But it is an amazing one, and it has 16 amazing flavors, and you have no idea what to choose.
Right.
So how do you go about it? They're all looking amazing. Like
perfect.
Perfect, shiny.
Yes.
They all look incredible. So how do you go about it? You start asking yourself which one to pick, and you take always the first couple and you go to the next and the next. So is it like vanilla or chocolate? It's vanilla. Vanilla or strawberry? Vanilla. Vanilla or
mango.
Mango. So by doing so, by just comparing two flavors, you're only left with one, and one is ruled out of the game. And at the end of this game, you're left with one. And this is how you go about it. And if you remember, we talked about the KLM method, that we will be talking a lot more about it in one of our master classes. And remember, K is for knowledge, L is for things that you love talking about, and M is things that there is a market for. And the sweet spot, the bullseye, is what? Your
digital product.
Your aim. your authentic impact mission. So, how do you go about it? You make a list of all the things that you know, right? And now you make a list of the things that you love talking about. You would love to share as a digital product. And you see which of them match. So now you're left with a smaller list, the group that is fitting on both. And now you check, is there a market for all these things? Maybe there is, but maybe there isn't. Maybe you have like some crazy idea from the past that is no longer like in the past, in ancient Greece, like they would carve, like messages in marble, right?
Not current anymore.
You might not have like many customers doing that, and especially, in the digital world, right? So you're left with like 5 options. and then you use the ice cream technique to come up with the one that matters to you the most. There are other ways to go about it, but this is the most clarifying, let's say, one, and the most fun for sure.
Yes, I love it. I love it.
Next, another powerful idea that we got from Joel Roberts.
Yes.
From day 3.
From day 3.
Because it was all about selling. So what
Yes.
Joel Roberts taught us about
that. Joel always said, if you want to be powerful and impactful in your communication, first of all, sell the problem. Sell the problem. Don't just go into the story of
Jump in
like, here's an amazing solution that I have for you. No,
Exactly.
no. First, you sell the problem.
Exactly.
First, you tell them, for example, let's take an example. Don't you hate it like after a gym session, you feel your muscles all tired and weak?
Exactly.
Okay, before I
now-
come and propose the perfect smoothie after the gym session that releases your muscle pain.
I am hooked immediately.
Right.
Because I think I say to myself,
Yes,
yes,
this
I do
happens.
have this problem.
Yes, exactly.
You want them to say, yes, I do have this problem. Because when you jump in with a solution, it is as if you're trying to push a solution, and nobody likes to be sold, but everyone wants the solution, right? So
You
sell
make
the
it
problem
relevant.
before you
You
sell,
sell the solution.
the solution.
Right.
Number 4, that day was about, like using social media
Storytelling.
to communicate our
Yes.
message and storytelling, right? And I reminded you in the beginning how intimidating that can be. And especially if you don't have the discipline and some kind of plan to do so. So what we suggest here, and this is a powerful marketing hack to get you going, get you started and get you going powerfully with confidence, is to have invest 1 or 2 hours, create a quiet space for you and create what we call a story storm. Not brainstorming, but story storming.
Exactly.
So you will make a list of all the powerful stories from your life, your loved one's life, everything that you would like to share, or maybe some other people's lives.
Mhm.
For example, you heard us telling stories about, like Bob Proctor or Tony Robbins or
Exactly.
whatever.
Yes.
Any empowering story that you want to include with your message as a hook, as a reason to get a conversation started, especially on social media. You need to be, as Celine Johnson said, you want to be attractive and valuable at the same time. So this attractiveness will come from your story, and then you jump in with your
the solution.
valuable content.
Exactly. And day number 5.
Day number 5 was all about seeing a much bigger version of you, but also what was very empowering was that what Trent Shelton sold us, right, is that he believes way more in ourselves than we do in ourselves right now. And this is a perfect segue for me to give you what I like to call the happy customer landing.
Yes.
So instead of doing the regular happy landing exercise that you do where you land at your destination, you put yourself on your ideal customer shoes, or as we like to call it, your soulmate. So you say to yourself right now, and let's just say that my soulmate's name is Mike, right? And you feel right now that I am Mike. And maybe you take a moment to feel Mike's problems in his life right now, right? And then you do the happy landing exercise for Mike. So you teleport to Mike's super self, to super Mike, and you feel how his life is with your solution. And now you know what? You can paint that picture in your marketing. You can paint that picture much easier for Mike because you've been there.
Exactly.
This is a very powerful exercise, and it has the same effect because I am almost certain, I don't know this, but I have a feeling that this is basically what Trent Shelton is doing, especially before his presentations.
Yes.
And
I think so too.
I,
Yes.
I would like to know that,
Yes.
but maybe he has his own techniques. Of course, he has his own techniques, but you cannot do something like that before you see someone at their destination, right? Because this is the game-changing attitude. You've been there, And now you're telling to your clients, you know what, you can do it. Dean also. Dean is so passionate because he can see you where you don't see yourself
Exactly,
yet.
exactly.
And this is basically what we call the happy customer landing exercise.
Exactly. And here we conclude the secrets, the 5 secrets that we had promised you, combined with the 5 days of the challenge. And now we will cover your most pressing questions. There were many questions in our community. We have grouped them because there are many patterns. All of us have more or less the same,
Yes.
right? Issues of mindset and questions going on in our mind regarding Own Your Future Challenge and the Launchpad and our capacity to create a digital product. So let's dive right in. So the first that we would like to cover and answer is, what is the difference between Own Your Future Challenge and Launchpad? Launchpad is the new product that was announced yesterday by Tony Robbins and Dean Graziosi. And as we like to say it, Own Your Future Challenge was like the appetizer, right?
Yes.
And
yes.
and
I think the best way to describe it is
I
this.
think so, yes.
Own Your Future Challenge is the appetizer. It can fill in your tummy, but there is maybe something missing.
Mhm.
And the Launchpad is the main course.
Exactly.
And
Literally the main course.
literally,
The
it is
course.
the main
The
course.
course,
For
yes.
us, it will be the main course for months, if not
Yes.
years to come. But not only that, it is also a way to think that, yes, I do have these 2 options. Actually, it's 3 options, basically, only about these things. Not to attend On Your Future at all, or attend only On Your Future Challenge, or participate in Launchpad as well.
Mhm.
It's like as if you have like 3 roads in front of you. You're in crossroads right now, and you're making a decision. And maybe, just maybe, there is a way for you to get to where you want to go through all 3 roads, right? But at the same time, don't you want to know, don't you want to ask yourself, which is the most effective way to go about it? Which is the fastest and easiest way to go about it? And this is the game changer. As we like to say, Launchpad is the main course. Yes, this is the easiest way to answer
Yes.
it, but also Launchpad is, for us, the easiest, fastest, and the most risk-free way to go about it.
Exactly. Precisely.
Because going back to specialized knowledge, don't you want to have the specialized knowledge when it comes to mindset? Isn't like Tony Robbins the guy, the go-to guy for mindset? When it comes to marketing, to conveying your message, isn't Dean Graziosi the guy to get there? If you have like hundreds of millions of dollars in success by marketing digital products, right? Don't you think that person can help you achieve your goals? And if they're bigger than that, maybe, just maybe, you want to be like having us invest in your program because you know more than we do. So this is how it goes. Regardless if you are conveying your message for free or as a paid program, you are sharing your message. Launchpad is the manifestation of Tony and Dean saying, you know what, we can help you. Here's is the way to go about it.
Here's the map, exactly, with all the tools that you need to create and successfully launch and scale your digital product business. Second question, what could I offer as a solution? And the answer here is quite simple. So actually, it's what is a digital product, right? So your solution could be packaged in different formats. It could be an online course, a training program. A mini course could be longer or shorter in duration. It could be a series of master classes. It could be a series of Zoom online workshops. So you start to get the idea. It is not just a course. It could be also in other formats, audio trainings. And this, in summary, is what a digital product is all about, and what this amazing industry, which is growing day by day with such immense pace, called the self-education industry. Angelo is drawing something here.
Yeah. I'm just
So it is a frequent question, actually. What is a digital product? Because people sometimes hear a digital product, a digital product. What is a digital product? So simply, it is that. And think about, make a list, actually. Take your notebook and write down what format could I deliver, which as a beginner is easier for me. And then as I progress, I could add other formats to the solution or solutions that I later want to offer and add in my digital product pipeline and business.
Right. So what I like to draw here for you is that you have basically 4 options. And it's kind of messy, so I will not use it. I changed my mind.
Okay.
So think of 4 quadrants. I wanted to make it visually accessible to you, but you will get the picture. So think of online and offline, and think of products and communications. You can have all 4 choices. You can have online communication and online product, online communication and offline product. You can have offline communication and offline product, and offline communication and online product. So, for example, you can have a billboard about Own Your Future Challenge with a QR code that you scan and you go to Own Your Future Challenge, or you have like a digital ad on Facebook that you click and you go to Own Your Future Challenge. So this was an example of offline communication to leading to an online product, and an online communication leading to an online product. And you have also the other way around. So basically what we're saying here is that you can go any way you want with this. But what you want to remember, and why we are here and why we are so passionate, we made a decision many years ago, and this decision shapes our micro decisions that we make every single day, and it also shapes how we go about it in general, what thoughts and actions we choose and what habits we're building, right? So we chose that we don't want to help like 5 people as one-on-one coaches, like mindset and marketing coaches and so on, or have like a small group. We could be offering that, and we are offering that basically, but as like a side project for like high-end clients and so on. What we truly care about most is to have absolute freedom of time, location, and of course, financial freedom. And the way to go about it is by building a digital platform where you convey your message without having to physically be there. So a couple of weeks back, we were at our beach house in the south of Greece. Now we're in Athens. We could be somewhere else around the world in a couple of days' time. And you know what? It won't affect our business. All we need is like some equipment and an internet connection, and we can do just the same.
Exactly. And this is the magic of possibilities with a digital product business.
Right.
Third question, who will listen to me? And this goes back to Am I Enough, part of Own Your Future Challenge, where Dean said over and over again, you are enough, you have enough, you know enough. You just need to be one chapter ahead of your new potential client, and then you can help them offer a solution. And yes, let me tell you, you have a message inside you, you have a solution inside you, and yes, your future audience and tribe is already waiting for you, even on a subconscious level, and asking you, this is the nudge that you are feeling, right? And asking you to come out in the market with your new digital solution.
Okay, so listen to me now. You know that because of Own Your Future Challenge, our attention towards giving you much more value is condensed right now and fully immersed on you and helping you, right? Making the next uncomfortable step. You know that, regardless if you invest in Launchpad or not, regardless, it will be uncomfortable because it will be your first step to something that you want, but you don't have the information or the strength, the faith to support it. So you need the courage. So ask yourself this question, and any answer that comes up to this question, send it to me by replying in any of our emails or through a message so that I can answer it for you as fast as possible so that you can move on with your life and have no regrets that you could have started faster and better, but you didn't. And that question is, what is still there holding me from not believing in myself enough to go about my dreams? What is still holding me from believing in myself, not in general, enough to go about my dreams? And you need to have that answer as fast as possible, as soon as possible.
Yes.
Share it with me, and we will do our very best to answer it through a video, through another masterclass, whatever it takes, so that you get going, so that you get unstuck, so that you get to the next level of your life. This is the most painful thing of all, to look yourself, knowing that you are like you
Yes.
deserve more,
Yes.
but feeling that there is something holding you back. Let it go and get that answer today if possible.
Exactly.
So,
Exactly. It is your time. Let
it
it
is
go.
your time.
Let it
Say
go.
it right now. It is my time. If you're daring enough, leave it on the chat. It is my time. I am the change. Leave it on the chat. I am the change. This is what Trent said yesterday. And you know what? Basically, you want to say this to yourself. Trent saying it was not enough. Me saying it is not enough. You want to say to yourself, Angelo, this is your time. It is my time. I am enough. I am the change. Say to yourself, look yourself in the mirror, mean it. It's not just words, mean it. Feel every cell of your being resonate, mean it.
Yes.
Make the changes. Start the journey towards your super self, towards the version of you that you know is within and is begging
Begging to come out.
truly begging you to be unleashed. Do it today. Start today.
Next question. I want to create a digital product, but do not know where to start. And the answer here is, first of all, we gave you some techniques like the ice cream technique and some other tools to find your needs and your market. But the way to go about it right away is through Launchpad, because it will
Exactly.
guide you exactly and precisely, step by step by step, to launching your first digital product and making sure it succeeds and making sure you can scale this new business.
Right.
Next question. I have many interests. At how do I choose one of them? And we covered this with the ice cream technique.
We gave
right?
you the ice cream technique, and let me remind you, it is always, as Jim Rohn used to say, it is your life, right? And you better write your goals and your plans with a pencil, because it is your life and you can, simply erase and start from scratch. So do not feel that this is like a life-changing decision, because next year you can choose another product and another product. Because you know what? Life happens. So I have a very descriptive, let's say, example right now that came up. So let's just say you're like a high flyer career person right now, and you manage to do so many things, and against all odds, you are getting like a couple of raises and a couple of promotions every single year, and you're crushing it, in your career. So you create a digital product on how to crush it in your career in the first 8 years of your career, right? The most challenging ones and so on. And you make like a 6-module course, but you know what? Life happens. So because you were so focused on crushing it in your career, and many of you might resonate with me right now, you got divorced because you didn't pay attention to your relationship. And you didn't focus on, being there for your partner. So next year, you do what? You got over the divorce and you create another digital product. How to get over a divorce. So now your bullseye or your sweet spot or your ideal client or your soulmate or your dot is no longer the high flyer, no, the career person who wants to be like a high flyer career person, but it is someone who has been divorced and is still feeling like the ache,
Exactly.
and like feeling confused and so on. So always remember that as life happens, digital products happen.
Exactly.
Your
Very good
mess
example,
becomes
yes.
your message, and then you have a new mess. So this is why we're telling you, we don't like to sugarcoat anything for you, right? You have so much of this all around the internet, like people, posing on Instagram that they are happy and successful, and they're like the most desperate and the most depressed people ever. We don't like to do that. We want to be fully transparent with you and to tell you, you know what, no matter what you do, life will be happening. I cannot tell you that everything will be okay because nobody knows what will come tomorrow, right? We didn't know that COVID will happen. We had no idea. Maybe, I don't know, maybe some people knew it or they were expecting it or they were preparing for it. Most of the 8 billion weren't preparing for this. Most of the 8 billion weren't preparing for such an inflation, especially like main commodities. Life happens. And as life happens, your story happens. And as your story happens, your digital products happen. And as your digital products happen, your success happen. And this is how you turn your mess into your messages. Your messages into your messages, right?
Exactly.
Cool.
Next question. I don't have the confidence to go on camera, so how will I create a digital product? And this is very, very, very common.
Don't!
You are not alone. And I have two answers for you. First of all, you do not have to start being on camera. You can make audio programs. You can make slide presentations with a voiceover. Angelo's first programs were like this.
Yeah,
you can
just
have,
a slideshow.
Exactly.
It worked perfectly. Actually, I didn't do it because I didn't want to be on camera.
I know.
I just had I was
this was
deliriously inspired to
Yes.
create amazing presentations.
Exactly.
I never thought of the idea of being on camera because you know what? I created my first digital product back in 2016. So it is now 7 years ago, and I had no idea how to do it. Dean was not there for me back then. I had an idea of, like as a receiver, and I have consumed back then some digital products, but at the same time, I didn't have the process.
Exactly. And the process is necessary. But going back to being afraid of being on camera, one other solution is you can create small private groups of clients, like off camera, exactly, meeting in a room and offering their solution and training them and coaching them. And I promise you, as you go along this journey, you will get more and more confidence, and the confidence will unfold. And if you decide to join Launchpad, we will support you on this journey, and we will have more trainings on how to feel confident on camera.
Exactly.
Next question. Will people actually pay for my knowledge? And the answer is a resounding absolutely yes. It is what Dean covered at Own Your Future Challenge, where he said that smart people pay for shortcuts. Okay, they cut a check for a shortcut. We all live in a fast-paced life. You yourself have paid to get to the solutions that you want, right? So other people, of course, yes, they will pay for the solution that you will offer them.
Sometimes the best way to answer to some, like limiting beliefs you might have or some objections that hold you back is to see where the market is going or what the market is doing. So if you see that the market is paying almost or over now $1 billion per day for digital products, you know that there is a market for. You know that this is happening. You know that this is the trend, right? Because the trend of evolution is what you want to be focused on.
Exactly.
You may not like it, not always, right? Some people say, I loved analog music. I loved having, like the turntables, and going to buy a new disc and so on. But you know what? I understand it. And I'm not going to argue what is better. What I am arguing here for your success, for your betterment of your life, is to focus and always bet on evolution. Never bet against evolution, because evolution is happening whether we like it or not. See what is happening with AI. A few months ago, nobody was talking about it.
Yes.
Now it's almost in every single conversation. Now it is a part of Launchpad. Did you see what Glow did? I mean, can you imagine, like, the best marketers in the world, how much time it would take for them to come up with the same outcome?
In such a short amount of time.
Can you imagine, like, right now, we're both on the start line, all right? And you are working without Glow, and I am working with Glow. So I hop into the platform and I start using Glow, and there is like a special bonus where there is like a training, like
Yes.
what to ask
How to use
Glow
how
to
to
do,
use the
right? Because
AI assistant of
you are
Launchpad.
communicating with a new being, basically. This is why we say you need the mindset, the skill set, and the tool set. If you feel that Launchpad is for you, that skill set and tool set, so be it. But if you don't, what is your choice? What is your plan B? How will you go about it to reach the level of success? This is the question. And if you're not sure if Launchpad is for you, the time to ask your questions
Is now because the offer is for a few more days. It is limited. It is time sensitive. So feel free to ask now.
Can I say
and
something?
Not let go of this opportunity.
Yes. The offer will be valid for, I don't know, like another 3 days or something,
Yes.
right? This is not the reason. If you truly want to see your super self in the mirror, if you truly want to go about this business, you want to sign up today because life happens. You want to be there 3 days earlier, right?
Yes.
You want to have your super life earlier. Why wait? If you look
keep the
back,
momentum. Keep
if
the
you
momentum
look back
high and going.
and add up your waiting times in life, you will see that it will be the biggest part of it. The times that you thought that you weren't enough, you weren't ready, you were lacking something, whether it was, like capital or resources or people or connections or whatever, we always sell ourselves into playing small. But on the flip side, you can say yes now and start upgrading your mindset, your skill set, and your tool set today. And if for any reason you find out that Launchpad is not for you, you can get your money back and go on with another idea of yours, another way of going about it. But I believe that for those who are committed, there is no way back. Because you know what? This has been tested from the experience of Tony Robbins and Dean Graziosi. And these are people who are not easily like giving their signatures to any program, right? To any packaged knowledge.
Exactly. And last question, what if my peers don't support me in this decision of mine to start creating digital products?
Yeah.
This is something which is very relevant to many people. It was covered also extensively in Own Your Future Challenge. And the answer is simply this, to compress all the answers that were given for you. Just go ahead and be the best version of you. Every one of us has their own path. If you have this nudge that you want to help people with your solution, go ahead and do it. And let me tell you what will happen along the way.
Right.
You will inspire the peers and your loved ones and your friends who might be telling you, be careful, maybe it's not for you, and things like that.
Right.
Do not listen to them. Proceed with your wish and your dream life. And after some time, they will come and ask you, wow, you seem to be doing so great. We're inspired. Tell us how we can do it too.
And you know what? We say that sometimes we cannot even, it takes more than a lifetime to realize yourself. How on earth can someone say, I know what Angelo is going through, or I know that this way is not a good idea for Angelo. How on earth do they know?
Yes, exactly.
So, and as Trent said yesterday, stop trying to please everyone.
It is not
This
possible.
is basically impossible.
Save yourself
So
some time.
focus on expressing your super self. Focus on expressing that ideal, the best version of you. Focus on expressing your message. And make sure that you do it in a way that once you look back, you have no regrets, right? I didn't wait for it. It didn't take me 15 years as it took Angelo to realize that I have a powerful message and so on and so forth. And I moved much faster and I was more truthful to my super self. That, like this agreement that was made, this mental and spiritual agreement is there and is guiding you. So,
this concluded the questions.
right. And
now,
last but not least, we promised that we have some new amazing bonuses should you choose to invest in Launchpad, and basically not in Launchpad, but in your launch, in the launch of your super self today. And let me briefly remind you that you will be getting our Launchpad course walkthrough. And these will be masterclasses, one masterclass for each module, where we will be giving you our perspective and our personalized insights for each module to help you make the most of each module and solidify your knowledge.
Yes, insight always regarding mindset and marketing.
Right. Number 2, you have 3 months access to our Authentic Impact Mission Mastermind. This is a mastermind, a brand new mastermind, where we will be working closely with you on turning your mission into a successful digital product launch, because each and every one of you has a completely different journey, a completely different background, and we need to work with you individually in that mastermind to help. Each one of us will be helping basically each other to grow as much and as fast as possible. Number 3, of course, together with that, you get access to our Authentic Impact Mission Facebook group, where you will be able not just to answer any questions that you might have regarding Launchpad, regarding your progress, regarding an obstacle that came up, but also you could be sharing your progress and you could be inspiring others, and you could be, feeling great with yourself, right? Because I don't call it so much accountability partner, right? Don't think of this Facebook group as accountability partners, but as success buddies. So we all resonate success in that group, and we will all bring ourselves to a higher emotional and mental state in that group. Number 4, what I think is priceless. We truly hope that you will be taking advantage of this bonus. This bonus alone, I believe, is a game changer, and it is the Authentic Impact Mission Hero Interview.
Yes.
So, the moment that you feel you're ready to launch, the moment that you feel you want to communicate your new digital product, and at the same time, or in the beginning, right, that you want to communicate that I am on this new mission and I want to help these people, and you want to get traction, and you don't know where to start, and you feel that I don't want to, pay much money on Facebook, and all paid ads in general, and you want some kind of traction, we will interview you, and we will share this interview with our community, and this will give you the traction. This will get you started. And of course, if you wish, you can have another interview once you have a certain level of success that you want to share with our group.
Exactly.
Isn't this amazing? This is our gift to you. We don't like to call them bonuses. We came up with this idea yesterday. We should have come up with this idea much sooner, because this is how we feel. So we are using the term bonuses because everyone is talking about bonuses. But if you were with our priming session yesterday, you know how we see them? We see them as your rewards for your uncomfortable action, because we know that it takes some courage. And for you to do so and be part of our community, with the Launchpad community, you took that uncomfortable action, and you should be rewarded, and these are your rewards. And number 5, this is a Sunday only bonus. And if you're watching this live, it's almost 9:15 for us p.m. So you have a bit more than 12 hours to take action, more than enough if you're watching live. It takes a few seconds basically to sign up. And if you're committed, you should be signing up. If you're not, you should be asking your questions, or you should be making your decision fast and move on with your life regardless. Don't stay in limbo.
Right. Take fast actions and
what
decisions.
is like the Sunday super cool bonus that we have for you? Just for being here with us on a Sunday, the bonus that we have for you. And if you have signed up for Launchpad already, like yesterday or the day before, you do get this bonus as well, of course, right?
Yes.
So this bonus is a belief booster masterclass. Let us not just break our limiting beliefs, but install not just empowering beliefs in general, but the set of the empowering beliefs that your super self that has already achieved the level of success that you desire with your digital product has. This is how you should be operating from as soon as possible. And when you do that, you have a totally different level of self-confidence, and you are presenting yourself not as someone who is trying to succeed, but someone who on a mental and emotional level is already successful.
Exactly.
And it is only a matter of time for the world to see. So these are our insights. I have like a bonus thought for closing, right? We call this like a recap of Own Your Future Challenge and the next steps and so on, or a review of Own Your Future Challenge. Basically, this is a review of your future.
Exactly.
This is a review of what is possible for you only if you make this mental and emotional shift. Because once you do that, everything will be different for you. And we truly wish that you will be working with us in the forthcoming months, if not years, in not just building and launching. This is not enough. But in turning your digital product into the level of success that you deserve and so much desire. So, this is us signing off and let you to enjoy the rest of your Sunday.
I want to say one last thing. If you decide to join Launchpad, you will find the link in the description of this video, and you can sign up through this link so that you can also claim our wonderful bonuses.
Right.
So,
last but not least, just because I am so emotional right now and I know how much more is there for you, I just want to sign off with the same words that I have been signing off since January 1st, 2015, on every single daily shot of inspiration. You deserve everything you want, and we all deserve your best self. No matter what you do it great. See you soon with another masterclass.
Ciao. Bye-bye.